Hi, my name is Garrett Kuhn. This is with Sign in Hand. It's estimated that there are over 500,000 homeless people here in the United States. Nearly 85,000 who are chronically homeless. Now these are people who live amongst us in our communities. These are our neighbors. But so rarely do we ever actually interact with them. Well, today we will. This is going to be raw, unedited, real footage of people sharing their stories about living with Sign in Hand.
Hey sir, how you doing today, sir? I was just wondering what your sign said, actually. My name is Garrett. I'm with a company called the ASY Network. We're actually looking for people that are kind of in your situation, just trying to find some people that would be willing to share their stories and maybe help you out a little bit. We're willing to take you out and buy you some lunch. We're just looking to sit down and maybe talk for 20 minutes. Just get your story.
Well, time right now is of the essence.
Kind of that time of day. What if we pitched it in maybe like $20 for your time, something like that?
Where and when?
Right now, we're just gonna sit down at a local picnic table somewhere, just get your story real quick, bring it right back, grab you a meal. Think that'll work?
Sure.
Awesome. What's your name?
Oh, Wendy's.
Sounds great.
I'm Carl.
Carl, good to meet you. Garrett.
Right on.
Yeah.
You're like in the Western gunslinging days?
Exactly, like Pat Garrett. That's right.
Right on. Well, I was caught you a little sooner. I bought me a cooked pizza, but
Oh, all right.
I was up for eating.
Maybe we could get you something that'll last a little while. You'll be able to eat it later, still be fresh.
Nah, I'm not even worried about it. I'd rather have a hamburger.
Oh, sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So, how are you doing today? Carl, right?
Yes, sir. Great.
Finally, we're having a sunny day here in Colorado.
It's a beautiful day today.
So, tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Wyoming. Grew up here since I was like 1. I've been here for quite amount of time. I worked for a lot of companies here, made a lot of people rich. But that's besides the point. But I got hurt working for my brother-in-law, hurt my back, and it was a new landscape company, so I didn't want to take it out on his insurance. So I ended up giving him an ultimatum, either give me a raise or I quit. And he had me making nothing but boulder walls, and I was in landscaping for the variety. And he put me in a position where I gave him that ultimatum where you either give me a raise or I quit. So come that Friday, we got rained out Thursday and Friday, and I ended up not working. So they went to my house, the 2 bosses, and we're gonna drop off my check and see what was up with me. And I pretended like nobody was home. They were gonna break in my window, so I told them, hey, wait a minute, don't break my window, I'll answer the door. So I answered the door, and I knew they didn't give me a raise. So I asked them, first thing out of my mouth, did you give me a raise? And they said no. I said, let me gather up the keys, the radios, and all this stuff for you. And I quit. And they go, you're kidding. And I go, what, did you think I was kidding a week ago? And so I quit on them, and I never took care of my back.
But what does your sign say?
It says, well, I got a couple that I fly.
Do you mind if we see the other ones? Because this has some stuff on it right now.
Yeah.
We can look at it in a minute.
And, I don't know. I learned from older people that just be straight to the point.
Sure.
You know, no extras. But I throw in little extras. Because if you put too much, you can't read it by the time they drive by. It's just a flash, you know.
When did you serve?
I was in 79 to 85.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
I'll do it again.
So you said you've done any number of different jobs, made a lot of
Oh
people
yes,
rich over the
I've
years.
worked with labor halls a lot of years too. That's just because I get bored with jobs easy because I catch on real quick and then I like to master whatever I'm doing. So I get so good at it that I get bored with it. You know, I worked for Western Forge, making craftsman tools. I worked concrete, roofing. I mean, I worked for labor halls. I worked for all the landscape companies here that are old. And I got a reputation with all of them, and it's a good one. And I can landscape like mad, but I can't do it no more because of my back. You know, I can't do it at the pace that I used to keep up. But,
You said that back issue's been persistent now for 7 years?
yes, sir.
Wow, and in that time you've only been able to just take
See,
side
I
jobs.
even went to the VA and they told me nothing was wrong. And then I went to through the Social Security through them to try to get Social Security, and in their offices they don't even look at you. They just ask you, how do you feel? What part of you hurts? Oh, we'll sign you off for a year. It's like, what is really going on here? It's like, you guys are just like unreal. It's like, it don't seem like it's real. It's like, you guys are, I take it pretty serious, you know, Social Security and stuff like that, because that's a fund that everybody puts away for in case they have to use it, you know, when they get older. Unfortunately, I got hurt and I was trying for it, but probably won't get it until I turn a certain age, probably. I don't know.
Do you mind if I ask, how old are you now?
I'll be 54 in May. Yes, sir.
Now,
Been a hard life. I've lived a hard life. I used to be an alcoholic, and at a very young age, and I drank till I was 40. And DHS stepped in because I was having a son at the hospital, and they wouldn't let the mother nor me take him out of the hospital. So I had a problem with that. You know, it's my kid, and they said, "Well, we smelled alcohol on you." So DHS stepped in. I was trying to be honest, so I answered their questionnaire. How much do you drink in a week? You know, being honest. I was being honest, and they had an issue with it, and I understand that too. But it's still hard to lose your child to DHS. So I called my sister up and had her step in, and she and her husband adopted him, and that was my boss. So it makes it pretty wild. Then they started having family problems because of me quitting, because I was their main guy. I ran two crews for him, and he'd give me jobs like, say, hey, we got 2 weeks to do this job. He goes, do me right. Shoot, I'd finish it in a week. Easy.
how many years did you work for him?
For my brother-in-law, 7. I've worked for Timberline Landscaping. They've been here in town since they started business, and I worked for Old Tim for a long time. In fact, they talk stories about me all the time, I guess. They're just down the street here. But I can't really go back into that field because I can't do the lifting. I don't know if I could do it in, like paper. I don't got no kind of schooling for it. But
What kind of odd jobs do you typically take when you're able to take them?
Lawn maintenance, watering, snow removal, just little things. Painting, roofing, whatever. Trim, interior, whatever. Because we did maintenance on 36 houses for the lawyer. So you could do pretty versatile on anything.
Well, it seems like most of those would be more available during the summer,
Right.
during warmer months.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean during the winter you're more dependent upon holding a sign?
Yes, sir. Yes, it does, because it does get really slow in the winter. The people that do have jobs pretty much secure their job by keeping it, and nobody lets them go. So
Now, are you able to keep a roof over your head most of the time, or are you?
no,
Where do you typically stay?
I sleep in a car. My
Okay.
car. Until a month ago, I had to get my license back because I've had so many DUIs. I lost my license for 18 years. I had to go to the courts, buy all the paper back, old warrants, whatnot, and get it all the red tape straightened out. I finally get my SR22 for 3 years consecutive. No missed payments in between or nothing. So I get all that done. And just last month, a couple months ago, first time I paid my insurance for years. But things happen. People ain't giving out as much either. So I guess the economy is pretty hurt. Everything's sky high.
So you no longer have insurance?
No, then my transmission went out about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of stuck right here at Walmart. But it is what it is.
Without your car, do you have to rely on public transport here in the city, or how do you get around?
No, I do anyway. The bus system, I don't have a bike no more. They sold that.
Who stole it?
I had a bike locked up downtown at the police station of all places. I had a locked up in between the courthouse and the jail, and it's a work release, county jail. And I figured double locked with the U locks and one of those unbreakable cables. Yeah, unbreakable. Shoot, that bike was gone.
Between the courthouse and the police station, your bike got jacked.
Yes, too much. Now I think I see the dude riding it around town, but that's okay because I'm gonna put him in check. When I see him one day, I'm just gonna have him flip it over when there's a cop right there. Say, does that match this number in my wallet? Yeah, it does. Imagine that. So you gotta go home with no bike today.
It's ridiculous. So how long have you been stuck over there at the Walmart parking lot?
About a month. Kind of. Then this last month's been really cold too, so a lot of snow.
I have to ask, when it does get brutally cold like it's been,
Shoot,
below
being
zero.
in the Marines, I had to go through all phases of survival
Oh, so
courses.
you're not just a man, you're a Marine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, I was trained in that stuff, or I don't think I would have made it through a couple of the winters like this one, because it's brutal. Last year was pretty cold too. I remember my timing belt broke on Super Bowl Sunday. The morning of Super Bowl Sunday, we were checking out of a motel. I got oil leaking all over in the front of the car. So I looked under the hood and come to find out that my oil filter wasn't tightened enough. So oil's all over inside the engine. And I'm like, it broke my timing belt and I couldn't get it started. I was like, So I had my friend tow me behind one of the bars, and it's off-road. So there wasn't that much traffic on it. And because of luck and friends, a friend of mine bought the timing belt for me, and some other guys said they were mechanics, and so we put the timing belt on, and it was on wrong. It was off. It misfired and didn't have no power. So I had a manual, and I just looked it up and read it about 5 times and did it myself. Put it together. Done that a few times with fuel injectors, with the half axle, all kinds of stuff. just end up doing it myself because labor's too much. You know, it's like I ain't got the money to pay labor and then the part and whatnot, and take it to a shop and pay it all at once. It's like,
you're obviously a pretty handy guy, a guy who's generally able to take care of himself. I mean, is it ever really hard having to rely on the good graces of others?
it is. This winter's been hard because people, like I said, are giving less, and then I don't know if they single people out or what. Like you've been here too long, or it's like move on or something, And even the police kind of shoo you away, or pick on you,
We do this fairly regularly, go out and try to find people's stories, and actually fairly consistent theme is the problem that guys in your situation have had with police. Did you have any particular stories? Or?
Well, I've been approached by one cop, and I was out here at Stetson Hills, which is over above Powers, and a cop approached me and he said, "I've told you before to get off this corner and don't ever come back." And I looked at him and I said, "You know what? I've never seen you in my life." Come to think of it, later it clicks where I've seen him. I've seen him at this Walmart, and he did tell me to get off there. So his thing was, "I've told you before, so I'm taking you straight to jail." I go, "Wait a minute, buddy. I don't know you." And so I kept arguing with him. He said, "Yes, you do." No, I said, "No, I don't." And so he got mad. He goes, "Give me your ID." So I gave him my ID. He walks to the car. He goes down there and comes back with a ticket and says, "I'm giving you this ticket this time, but if I see you again, I'm taking you straight to jail." It's like, no questions asked. It's like, okay, do what you got to do. So, that ended my day. That's the way it goes.
So I'm curious whether you've felt if you've actually had to take advantage of any of the shelter services in the area.
I don't, because I've been in them before, and I really don't care to have a bunch of people around me that snore and stink and whatnot, like they got a thing in the Red Cross shelter, which is off of Sierra Madre. They say that it's called shelter crud. It's like you get sick from just so many crud in the air, I guess. I don't know, but I don't like them, so I don't go to them. I can survive outside better by myself, I believe. But there's ordinances certain places in town where you can't camp. Really, you can't camp nowhere, really, according to the law. But there's exceptions to the rules, and they'll just chase you off. And I've been ran off before. I've lived on Fountain Creek quite a few years back, and they run you off and slash your tent up, throw all your stuff away in the garbage. It's like, what are you throwing these homeless people's stuff away for? And you're the police, and they got to go get new stuff anyway. Jeez. To replace the stuff that you just threw away. They're gonna camp somewhere. They don't have a home, so what are you gonna do? You think they're just gonna leave? Like they got a bus ticket or a ride to get out of town.
Do you think that sort of relationship with the cops is unique to here, or do you hear stories from other guys that that's just sort of the case across the country?
Well, I heard they're having worse cases across the country. But
even worse than here.
Worse. Well, they said that Pueblo and Denver send their homeless people down here. So that's a real solution. And the mayor in this city says he don't want homeless people here. When they had the homeless coalition downtown at Antlers, the mayor showed up half hour or an hour before the meeting started, and right like 15 minutes before the meeting he left. He didn't want to address the issues that the homeless had, and like he didn't have time for it.
What was the homeless coalition?
Just people that the homeless people, the problems they're having on the streets and running into governments and different agencies. How much are they helping? like FEMA last year, because of the flooding, they went through and they were giving a lot of people checks. Well, I was homeless at the time, but I was living in my car, and I was in the flood zone because I was right next to Fountain Creek. Does that make me eligible? Well, according to them, it didn't. But a lot of people that I know got checks anyway, and put up in a motel for a month or two, you know. And it's like, I don't believe in taking advantage of the situation and lying about it. It's the same for me, so I didn't do it. I didn't get no money, and I didn't get no motel, and everybody else did. It's like, I don't care. You had a lie for it. I did.
You obviously don't have a problem telling the truth at all. I mean, honesty is, a big deal for you.
It's a big policy.
What are, in your opinion, for you, what are the biggest issues, what are the biggest challenges that you face being homeless?
Finding a place to crash out at night. Like, you might pull up to Walmart and think it's okay. Well, there's some Walmarts in town that if you pull up in the middle of the night, the security guard, they have on-site security, they'll pull up to you and tell you you need to go check in at the office. And then at the office, they'll tell you, you got one night to stay here and that's it. Or, well, these people are pretty good. They don't really run people off unless they deserve it. Like, one year we were all hanging out in the parking lot, and a bunch of us homeless, and everybody had cars and stuff, and campers and vans and whatnot, and there was just getting an overwhelming amount of people, but everybody was hanging out in their car all day long, and I could understand the manager's point of view was, you're out there in the parking lot all day long making mess, whereas these people are coming shopping and they buy their stuff and leave and get out, so you guys need to get.
Sure.
So we went to another Walmart.
Curious, Carl, what you think that the biggest thing that anybody could do to actually help you out in your situation? What would it be?
I'm beyond help. No, I'm just kidding.
Back to that honesty thing,
No, the biggest thing is just initially getting off the street. That's the hardest transition that I've ever had. In past is having a place set up to where you can move in, just straight in to a bed or something like that, where you're not having to check in every day and follow the cattle. It's like Walmart. If you look at a distance, everybody looks like cattle going inside the store, and here's all these people walking with their carts, moo, moo, and then they get back in their car and leave. It's like watching cows at a feed, at a cattle feed. To me, it is. I don't know how any other transition is pretty easy for me because I've done it so many times, probably. But that's the hardest, is going from the street to indoor, making that switch. Because in past I've done it, and I've lived outside for years. To go into a motel even, it's like I gotta open a window. I gotta have some kind of ventilation because I'm used to the air,
sure.
The natural air. And without, like in a still room, you could really smell the dust, smoke, whatnot, enclosed. So I just feel the need of, like a claustrophobic, like I need air.
So I'm learning about you, Carl. Honesty is a big deal for you, but it also sounds like open spaces and freedom are big deals for you too.
Yes, privacy. You got a person has to have all them, especially in your latter ages. Where you deserve it. It's like everybody deserves a home. Everybody deserves a car. It's like no matter what you did for it, whether you killed for that money or you stole it, I don't care. You deserve it. You know what I'm saying? A certain point in life where you should not have to go through what I'm going through. But when I was young, I didn't have common sense enough to know that you're the one responsible for your future when you get older, and you need to save up for your future or you're going to have nothing. Now, I reached an older age, and now I realize that all I thought about was party. I thought life was a party, and it was until I was 40 and they took my son, and that was no fun. So I quit like 2 weeks after they took my son, and that was 13 years ago, and I haven't drank to this day. So it's like, was it worth it? Well, when he gets of age and he comes looking for me, his dad, I'll be able to tell him, you know what I did for you? I quit drinking. The main thing that kept me from having you.
So you haven't had any contact with your son in those 13 years?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay,
yes, I
you have.
Yes, because my sister, like I said, took him.
Okay. How often do you get to see him?
Not often enough. Like, I haven't seen him for almost a year.
Is he your only
But
child?
see, her and her husband split up, and that's a different story. He likes the father figure better than he does the mother. You know what I mean? Guys like guys. You know what I mean? Little boy wants to be like his daddy, not like his mom. You know what I mean? Normal kids. So he wanted to be with his dad, so his stepdad, so he's with him. And all I gotta say is, you know, I love the man because he's taking care of my son. And if I didn't think he was treating him fair or right, or not loving him the way he should be loved, I would step in. But I don't have nothing to say. You know, I love him for that reason. My brother-in-law, and he's a good man. Just to take care of my son like he does. I can honestly say that.
Do you have like a list of goals that you're trying to shoot for?
Yes, I'm going to be rich, so filthy rich that I'm going to help all the poor.
Yeah, it's
Not be poor.
all right, Carl. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
You're more than welcome.
And just God bless you. All right.
And God bless you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If any of the stories that we've shared with you today have moved you in any way, please go to the website address at the bottom of this screen. Whether it's a contribution of $5 or $500, everything helps. And of course, there's no pressure, but your contribution can make a dramatic difference in somebody's life today.